guys, today's Friday, April 25th, and let me tell you, what a market day. The market is actually closed, but let me tell you a little bit about the highlights. First and foremost, let me share with you a lot of the news and a lot of the analysts continue to talk about how there are multiple fear mongers out there causing all kinds of fear in our market. But the market doesn't seem to know it anymore, guys. The market doesn't seem to know that there are people out there intentionally trying to create fear. If you look at this week, tech stocks, wow, what a rally. 4 days in a row, unbelievable rallies, unbelievable earnings results, unbelievable Dow Jones, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all up. To think that people were saying the market was devastated, but it's realistic to know that the numbers are real, guys. So what I wanted to share with you today is just basically about some of the things that are going on in the news right now. First of all, there's still this battle back and forth between President Trump and the Chinese president. The Chinese president wants to basically make it like we're not communicating, cooperating, and they'll never negotiate with us. In the meantime, if you really look at what the analysts are saying about China, they are in huge economic trouble.
China is refusing to negotiate with President Trump on U.S. tariffs. In fact, the nation is taking the trade war to a new height.
Inside this factory in southern China, Ace Headwear is trying to keep up with both demand and this week's seismic change to global trade.
Because we're seeing the price data for March showed China's in a deflationary spiral. CPI down 2 straight months, PPI, factory gate prices, down 30 straight months. That is inconsistent with the notion of a robust economy. Plus, also, they got their debt crisis. Their 2008 in slow motion is occurring now. You got the collapse in the property prices that have already occurred. And the other thing is that Xi Jinping has turned his back on consumption as the basis of the Chinese economy. So his only way out is to export more. President Trump has just closed off the world's biggest consumer market by far. I mean, I don't know what Xi Jinping's going to do because Chinese factories have been closing now, and this is just a crisis for him.
The White House, the administration, President Trump, whoever you want to say, has a responsibility to kind of look at this now to know that, as President Trump has said, he doesn't want it to hurt anybody. Well, it is hurting China. And I'm not for China. I'm not for the nonsense of what's coming out of China. But what I can tell you is that their economy is so bad and the structure of their government is so bad that people are suffering from all of what's going on. And I think that's really kind of the reason why we're backing off, not going away from, but backing off some of the tariff stuff that's going on. President Trump said that he's negotiated almost over 200 deals, okay? Fox News, CNBC, they all report that there are 35 current deals that will be finalized within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, guys, when there's an actual trade deal that's finalized, it usually takes over a year to finalize it. So my understanding is that there's going to be LOIs, letters of intent, that are signed within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then once those LOIs are signed by the president and his administration, then they'll go to work on finalizing the details of those trade deals. But the bottom line is we're going to get these tariffs and trade deals finalized, finished to the point where the economy can be happy, the market can be happy, and everyone involved should have a fair say, a fair deal in what we're dealing with right now. If you've been watching the market today, you know that NVIDIA, Palantir, APLD, Applied Digital, BBAI, okay, just to name a few of them, are through the roof. Okay, I'm in SoFi. You guys have heard me talk about SoFi. I got in it at $10.80 something cents per share. It hit over $13 a share today. I think it's still running in the $12.90 or just above $13 range, or maybe $12.80. I think it might have dropped down to a little bit later in the afternoon. Not unhappy, guys. Not unhappy at all. Now, SoFi is one of my long-term holds, so I'm very happy with it, and they have earnings on April 29th, next Tuesday, and I am super pumped to see what that's going to do. None of this is financial advice, guys. This is all just me sharing with you my journey, so don't take it as financial advice, but absolutely do do your own research, do your own homework. If you want to jump in and add some of the same stocks that I'm playing in, feel free to do that. And let me know in the comments box if you make money, if you do good. Love to hear about that. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is that there are a lot of companies out there that their stocks are well performed today, really through the week. Okay, if you think about this, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, Dow Jones, all of them being up over 2% this week. It's been a green week all the way across the board. Actually, the stock market has exceeded analyst expectations this week. And it just goes to show you that all it takes is everyone to refocus on what we're actually doing and not allow the fear of external sources to cause the stock market to crash. A week ago, people were saying, oh, we're going into a recession. Oh, the economy's going to fall apart. The stock market's going to be the worst. You guys, I share with you a news article that it was part of the stock market. I can't remember. I think it was the Dow Jones was the lowest it's been since 1932. Okay, yeah, you're right. The stock market is right now down. Everything is down, and it is recovering from the downs that we took from the tariff release, tariff talks, trade wars, Ukraine and Russia. Okay, all these things that are going on in the news. All the stuff with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and his lack of cooperation with the administration. And Trump saying, I'm going to fire that guy. And the next day saying, no, I kind of like the guy. We're not going to fire him. Next day, I'm going to fire the guy. No, you know what? Maybe we'll just give him a stern talking to. Okay, all that stuff, all it does is cause the stock market to jump up and down and up and down and up and down. And to be honest with you, the people that make the most money in a stock market like that are the wealthy, the one percenters. They're the ones that get richer because they say, oh, wow, look at this. Palantir at $75. Buy a ton of it now. And guess what, guys? Palantir today, $110 a share. Okay, who got rich? Did you get rich? Did the retail trader that buys 2 shares of stock, as a longer term hold to see if it goes from $75 to $500, did you get rich? No. Did you make money? Okay, yeah, you made money, but you didn't get rich. Well, these guys know when to get in and get rich. Okay? What are you doing about it, though? Are you sitting on the sidelines and watching this happen? Or are you getting into some of these stocks that everyone keeps continuing to tell you, buy now, buy now, buy now, okay? Don't let opportunities like what's going on right now pass you up, guys, because we're still in a correction stage. It's still not too late. All right, I'll give you SoFi as an example. At $13, people would say like, oh man, SoFi was $7 something cents, and now it's $13. It's FOMO. It's the fear of, missing out. It's not the fear of missing out, guys. Look left. Go back in history. SoFi's high is over $28, okay? Last year, I believe it was November, December, into January last year, it was trading at $17. It's $13 right now. You're going to tell me that there's no room to make money? Okay, now if you're expecting to get into SoFi today at $13 and come out tomorrow or Monday, right, because it is Friday, come out Monday at $17, no, that's not going to happen. But as a long-term trade, as a long-term investment, something you hold on to for a period of time, will it get there? I personally believe it will. I'm personally in it to see what happens on April 29th when earnings hits. Matter of fact, I was just considering today, even at $13, buying more shares, loading up on it now to see what happens in earnings. Now, could I regret that decision? Yeah, I could. I did it with APLD, and I'm right now sitting in my Webull account at about $5.38, and it's today, I think it hit $4.70 something cents. I'm confident it's going to hit $5 next week and it's going to continue to run. And it'll get to my break-even point. I won't sell it at my break-even point because I'm in it as an investment. It's a stock market to make money. So once it clears $5.37 or 38 cents, whatever my current dollar cost per share is, and it goes up, guess what? Then I take profit, guys. And then I sell out and I go back to that just being just strictly a day trade for me. Because on my other accounts, on E-Trade and on Robinhood, that is day trade for me, okay? Making money on those same stocks, ABLD, Applied Digital. Not advice, just sharing with you my journey. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is Tesla. Tesla, my gosh, Tesla ran today. It's been running the last couple days, and thank you, because I'm in Tesla as a long-term hold for myself personally, for my family, and I'm very excited what's going on in Tesla. But all it took was Elon Musk going back to work, okay, out of the White House, back to Tesla headquarters, and it went up today, I think, from $260 a share to $280-something a share, and it did have, the whole market had a little bit of a down run at the end of market, but I don't know what it's doing right now. Yesterday in the aftermarket, it continued to run up until 8 o'clock. Okay, today being a Friday, market typically is a horizontal day on Fridays. Aside from the performance today, not sure where it's at. But these are stocks, guys, that can bring you wealth, that are good investments. Okay, Tesla, Applied Digital are not going in. Let me tell you what I did today. And some of you may have an opinion. Some of you may think, hey, good job, great decision. Some of your opinions may be negative. No, you should have waited. And I'm kind of on the fence with it. But here's the thing about the stock market, guys. Buy in at a position and don't go all in. Okay? And then if it drops, buy in more, average cost down, and then when it goes up, you're going to make more. Okay? A lot of good traders do that. Now, I will say you have to be careful. If you are averaging down on a stock, on a company that potentially is bombing, is failing, not a smart move. Sometimes it's better to hold, set a stop loss, and cut your loss and make a decision to get out of a stock. All right? But something like Tesla, something like Intel, which is what I'm going to tell you I bought into today, I'm not worried about it. I bought in Intel at $19.95, okay? And it sort of bounced up and down today between $20 down to $19.80-something. Okay, I'm not stressing. I bought 50 shares of it. It's not going to hurt me. But I do know that Intel is going through and is in the process of a current restructure of their leadership. They have a new CEO. They have a bunch of new officers. They did lay off a ton of people, and the stock dropped like from $22 to $18 or $19. Huge decrease, right? But now we have a huge gap to fill too. And so I'm in Intel, guys. Take a look at it. Do your research. Figure out what's right for you. But I'm in it, and I'm pretty confident that over the next few weeks or few months, Intel is going to be one I look back at and go, man, I am so glad I bought back into Intel. I've been in it at Intel. I've made money with Intel. Intel's always taken care of me. All right. Sometimes you got to hold it a little bit longer and wait. But it's Intel. It's not KB Toys. It's not Toys R Us. And I'm sorry to bring these companies up that failed. It's not Kmart. It's Intel. Okay. It's a chip maker. And they're going to be just fine. And a company like Intel does really well because it has a lot of connections to other companies, right? It has connections to NVIDIA. It has connections to Palantir's connections, all these other, AI or tech-related companies. Another one that did really good, I mentioned it, Palantir. BBAI, Big Bear, IA, BBAI, ran up today. I brought it up yesterday in one of my videos, guys. Look at BBAI. It was one that I was going to day trade today. Got in it, made money. Good stock. BBAI is another company that is somewhat connected. Not the same as, but connected to Palantir. If Palantir is performing, guess what BBAI is going to do? Guys, you need to do your homework and find the companies, the larger scale companies, big dollar stocks, the smaller companies that are connected to them. The S&P 500 is comprised of 157 companies. Those companies are performing very well, which allows the S&P 500 to run. Okay, a lot of those companies in there, there's maybe the top 5 or 10% of those companies are taking the S&P 500 up. All the rest of the companies are either, running horizontal, making some moves, but there's a small percentage of larger companies in the S&P 500 that are making it move. I listen, do your homework. I guess is the best way to put it. Take a look and see what those stocks all are and what they're doing, and then make decisions based on where you want to be in the market. But I will also say, be careful, because having great days, great runs, great green candlestick days does tend to come to a point where there's a bit of a retest. Now, could we retest on Monday? Yeah, we could. We could. And that's okay, because normally when a stock retests and it drops back down, it comes back stronger. Look at the history of a stock so you understand it. Anyway, guys, this was a great day in the market. Don't be afraid of the market. Don't be afraid to get in out of some really good stocks. Pick up some that are long-term holds and have them as part of your portfolio. Guys, I hope you had a really great green market day with me today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. Please click the like button. Please hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. And guys, I hope you have an awesome weekend. And I'll be looking forward to talking to you at some point through the weekend about what Monday's plan will be for me as a retail day trader and what I'm looking at based on the news that's coming out through the weekend. Guys, have a great weekend. Josh out. Peace.